The Huskers come home after a win. Can Coach Rule and his turf as Rutgers rolls in to try to ruin homecoming in Lincoln? Jay Foreman will join us, and Sean will have an update on recruiting. It's all time coming up. It's time what? Sorry. You changed that up? I didn't see that. My fault. I didn't see that. It's time. Nebraska Public Media. Nebraska sitting at 4-1, going to play 4-0 Rutgers, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Joining me, former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning. Listen, during the offseason, we talked a lot about Rutgers is about one of the first tough games Nebraska's going to play. Obviously, they dropped one already, but what do you feel about it now that you've seen Rutgers play, you've seen Nebraska play?
Very similar, and they both try to establish a run. Offenses like to get physical. Rutgers probably runs it, I wouldn't say better. They've ran it more successfully through the first 4 games that they've had. I don't think they have quite the weapons on the edge and the quarterback who can throw it like Nebraska has, so that makes a difference. But what they do well is they're physical. Great young teams are very physical. They're disciplined. They take care of the football. Special teams are usually solid, and their red zone defense has been outstanding this year, like 5th in the nation. So they've given up some yardage in between the 20s, but when it comes down to the red zone, it's hard getting 6 against this defense. But I tell you what, it's a great matchup for the Huskers on Saturday afternoon.
Nebraska riding some momentum of that second half coming off of Purdue.
Yeah, I think they feel good, and I think this game is kind of tailor-made for how Nebraska likes to play. I don't think Rutgers really likes to get vertical outside the numbers, and they've been vulnerable to giving some plays up outside the numbers.
Yeah.
And Nebraska is really good with explosive plays. So I think if Nebraska scores points when opportunity presents itself, they should be just fine. My only real concern in this one is I'm not sure what kind of equalizer special teams will be. So it's hard to cap that way. But if you're just talking offense and defense, I like the matchup.
There's lots to cover tonight, and we can't do it without you. We have our phone standing by, ready for your calls. You can also text or email if you want. Send your comments or questions to bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. We're also monitoring our social media accounts tonight as well. Send us your thoughts on Big Red Wrap Up Facebook page or X account, and we'll answer as many of those questions as we can. Time now for our sideline survey. Last week, after the loss, what did you think about the rest of the season? 49% of the people said bowl bid, 42% said no bowl, 4% said still can make it to the college football playoff, and 5% said time to watch some volleyball. A lot of negative people on this survey. Next, this week's sideline survey, though. What should Nebraska do on 4th down when they're in field goal range? 43% of the people are saying go for it on 4th down. Keep hold until he gets better, 23%. Hope Alvano is back, 21%. And see if Dylan Raiola can kick, 13%. Let's stick with the kicking game. It can't be good when your offensive coordinator has to think, do I even play knowing that I can't kick the football at this point? What do I do in terms of 3rd downs?
Yeah, it's tough. It's obviously it has to get fixed. It needs to get better, but it's just not the kicker's fault. It's the whole operation. Right. I mean, that is it's a 1,000, 2, 1,000. That ball needs to be gone. Your edge guys can't block long enough to keep the corners from crashing in. But when the snap's low, Bushini's done a great job of actually collecting it and at least getting it down. But the timing of it has just been off. Even when the holds have been okay, he's hooked them. And other than that, the extra points have been okay.
Yeah.
They've been solid. They've been consistent. But you can see there, the snap and just the operation time, it's off. But that's first and foremost. You got to get the snap. What's the most important play in offensive football? The QB center exchange. You have to have it. So you have to have the snap down in the kicking game to get it down. Otherwise, you can't operate no matter who's back there in the kicking game.
And your punter or your holder can't have 3 tackles. On special teams.
Yeah, so I think outside of the mechanics of place kicking, coverage has not been good. And I think for Nebraska, you maybe have to get into roster management and see what you want to do with your special teams because they have enough depth. It just depends on who they want to utilize and how quickly you can get to 4 games. You start with the first punt, and that should have been down at the 1, and Gunners are having a hard time, making plays on punts. And I said last week you had 3 punts for 151 yards, but you only had a 30-yard net. So you're in the bottom 90s or high 100s in terms of kickoff coverage. So the coverage teams have to get better too. It's not necessarily just when toe meets leather for Nebraska.
Overall efficiency of special teams right now is 129th in the country.
Yeah,
Let's get into the offense, because at halftime, Nebraska couldn't feel horrible. I know they missed the field goals, but they were moving the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, that wasn't it. Moving the ball was not the issue. Obviously, getting points in the red zone.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll be honest, and I've told many people the last couple of days, it's like, oh my gosh, the first half struggles. And it's like, well, it's always funny now. People were concerned about second half struggles. Yeah. Now, obviously, maybe they got that taken care of, but they obviously did a good job in Purdue in the second half. But they don't get the OPI on the 4th and 1 pass to Rahmir. I think that first half's vastly different.
Yep.
I think momentum plays is a huge thing in college football, and they would have had it right there. Block field goals probably don't happen. You just get the momentum going, and you're probably up 13-0 at half, maybe 14-0 at half. If you get that 4th and 1, the LPI, we all know was bogus anyway. So momentum's huge. You just got to take advantage of it, and it's hard. I can't imagine being Coach Rule or Satterfield and trying to call a game where you aren't sure if your team can kick it unless it's an extra point or inside the 20-yard line, and that's tough.
How do you feel the team is running the ball outside of what Ja'Cory Barney is doing with some of that jet sweep stuff?
Well, downhill run game definitely needs some work, but listen, I think part of running is finding creases. I think Nebraska's winning at the point of attack in a lot of those offensive runs, and I think it's up to backs to find creases. And we saw a little bit of a wrinkle with Emmett Johnson getting some more snaps, but I'm not one of those people that, you don't get Emmett Johnson's life without somebody like Dowdell in it. So I think you need a complement of both running backs. Nebraska just has to figure out how to play to both their strengths.
And we leave out sometimes talking about Ja'Cory Barney's plays because people call them trick plays or whatever, special plays. Well, let's watch him. This is really good blocking, right? We're seeing them practicing this well. And the things that are that Raiola's doing in terms of his ball handling, he's really good at this as a freshman.
And listen, nobody runs toss anymore. You don't get 48, 49 sweep and pitch. You need ways to get the ball to the edge like this without running toss.
Yep.
Defenses can run.
Blocking is.
I mean, yeah, Borkature, just a stud. So, I mean, this is part of it. There's no gadget to it.
Right, that's what I was trying to tell people. This is a part of a lot of offenses. You know, if you go through the NFL, if you go through high school, you see this. This is, ever since Oregon started doing this heavy, everybody's done it.
Yeah, it's timing is a huge thing, and you got to get the motion has to get timed up. The ball handling has to get timed up.
Yeah.
But the blocking the edge blocking, and the wide receivers have been, they've gotten better. I'll say in the last 2 weeks. Colorado, the coaches weren't too happy with it. But I mean, just the operation there with Raiola, I mean, that's a tough handoff, getting out there and getting the timing of it. But the edge blocking has to be there. The crease, right, and the guy leading up and through the crease, like Borkature did on that first one, it's a timing of everything has to be perfect. Otherwise, guys will shoot the gap and make plays in the backfield.
How gadget did we think it was when Melvin Gordon was going for 400?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
I mean, just the revisionist history is incredible. It's just part of run game.
I'm with you. That's what it is now. Let's talk about the other side of the ball because, again, there were people talking about the black shirts not playing well. But when you look at the stats at the end, and you look at what happened overall, what they were trying to do, the black shirts played well, right?
Yeah, I thought they were much improved. I thought the things that hurt them against Northern Iowa and Illinois were cleaned up. Guys just seemed to be in control. They seemed to be in good positions. There was an edge. There was, if a guy was supposed to spill or force, they were going to do that. It just seemed clean. It just seemed, it was always, the flow of the play was forced into your defenders. There wasn't guys, sitting back. Your safeties and corners weren't put in bad spots. A few missed tackles here and there, but overall, I mean, Maccabee's a big dude. Maccabee's a hard guy to tackle, and I thought there was a much improved thing. The defensive line was much improved, the linebackers much improved. Having Javen Wright back there to come out and play after his first game of the season, much improved. So I think everything as a whole, they've taken a step forward instead of another step back, like you maybe could have seen after the Illinois game. But hats off to the seniority of that defense to kind of get things going in the right direction.
You look forward to what that secondary is going to look like when Tommy Hill comes back. Now that Sierra Wright's got some experience, you see guys back there playing better.
Yeah, they have some versatility. I think Nebraska's looking for a little bit more dynamic play, maybe from the safety spot, as it's kind of still evolving. But some of it is it's been baptism by fire, right? You take a guy like Buford and you've had to move him to corner, and now that little Mario is back playing some safety, and you have some versatility now in terms of what you want to do with guys. I think they just need to settle in.
Yeah, you look at 5 sacks, right? And this is what Nebraska's been the last 2 years. They'll go games where they don't really have any sacks, and then they're getting a bunch of them in the game. What'd you think about the pass rush? What Ty Robinson did on that one play, splitting
Yeah, it was
the
great
double
splitting
team.
it. You kind of ricocheted off the tackle, get him split right here. I mean, it's fantastic.
Oh.
That's a thing of
hurt.
beauty right there.
Yeah.
Kai Wallen was good. James
a
Williams
good
was
natural
great.
pass rusher,
yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah. MJ Sherman, great. It's just not one guy, right? It's a lot of guys are able to create the rush, and I mean, you get interior. That's where sacks happen. You have to have your interior guys play well, because you can always win on the edge. You know, let's say it's 8 times out of 10, but if he has a pocket to climb into, you're never going to get there. But your inside guys, Nash, Ty, have to do a good job of keeping that quarterback in the pocket. So there is no room to step up, and that's what they did a fantastic job of on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought Nash had a really good game.
A lot better job with
Ben.
Bend, right? The old hula hoop drill.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Very good, Ben. Okay, let's go back to Saturday and take a look at the highlights from the game. Now, the first half didn't provide many fireworks. We'll call them highlights anyway. Let's go to the highlights now. Of course, it was a beautiful day in West Lafayette. Nebraska comes out early, moving the ball. We talked about earlier the things that Ja'Cory Barney does. He's just electric. It's just so good to have a guy like that can make a play every time you get the ball in his hands. He's averaging almost 10 yards a touch. First missed field goal. This actually was pretty good in terms of the snap and the hold, right? This is just on the kicker?
Yeah, that was good mechanics to get it there. It's just a hook job by Hole. And listen, you got to learn to play it.
Hudson Card, we mentioned how he could move in the pocket last week. Nebraska did a really good job of keeping him in the pocket and stopping him from picking up some cheap first downs. There's your sack by James Williams. And then look, you miss field goal, we miss a field goal, you miss a field goal.
And that was
it's like being on Oprah.
That was Purdue's first field goal attempt of the year.
Of the year, exactly, yes. It's been a lot of missed kicks all day on Saturday. Good play here. This is perfectly set up. For some reason, they decided to call a penalty on Thomas Fidone, even though he doesn't touch him.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Jay. I think the thing about it is when you go out of your way to get out of the way,
Yeah.
you got to figure that out. That's one that, I don't know, that goes right to the league office.
You nailed it with the anticipation. I think the guy anticipated the call. They should have corrected it when they got together. Here's an incomplete pass. They originally called it a completion. They go to review. The ball hit the ground, comes out. Corey Barney does not get the catch. But Nebraska still continued to move the ball all first half. The problem was field goals, which is coming up here. This was a bad snap, right? Bad snap. Bashini got it down.
Yeah.
Messed the timing up.
Incredible job just to get the hold down.
Yeah, no, it was just the ball was low. I mean, he gets it and it just throws off the timing. Your kicker, he knows it. It's weird. You're not able to get the proper trajectory on the ball.
Yeah.
Who knows what the laces were? That's the most important thing of a field goal, getting that snap.
Here's a guy that I think Nebraska fans would love to see touch the ball even more. Thomas Fidone, the middle of the field, man.
Yeah.
It's open.
I didn't know if it was a result of 2-man or that man under, because you can play some 2-man when your quarterback can't scramble. But that middle of the field open was there for the taking.
This was the second block and third missed field goal, another bad snap. Bashini does get it up, but you mentioned the timing.
It's another good job with the hold, but you're right. They count those steps off, Jay.
Yep.
And it's just off for the kicker.
Yeah. Good day for Raioli overall, though, moving the ball up and down the field in the first half. Here's the defense we mentioned over and over, cracking down. That's one of those that could have been leaky yardage, but they stopped it, settled for the field goal.
Yeah, Jay mentioned the tackling is better, and he can speak to this. When your leverage is good, you play freer, right? When you don't give backs two-way goes.
Correct.
It's just easier to play defense.
You know where your help
right?
is, man. You know where your help is. You can go shoot your gun and make a play.
Here's Emmett Johnson making a play. He just makes so many guys miss. And this is a perfect job by Raioli, keeping the ball right where it needed to be as he's standing in the pocket and makes the throw to Banks for the touchdown.
And Fidone almost got his hand up on
He
that
did.
one.
He did.
I was like, oh my
He's
gosh.
just chomping at the bit for a touchdown.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's trying to get one. Here's another sack. We mentioned 5 sacks on the day for the Cornhuskers. Getting back there. Emmett Johnson, no, this is Ramirez. This is Emmett Johnson. Yeah, 8 carries for 50 yards on the day. For him, outside of what Barney did, he was the leading rusher. This is Nair's only catch on the game. They're really going back and forth on who's the main guy.
Pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
Who do you want to eliminate?
Yeah,
And
I
each guy-
don't like that. Too much jumping. I'm done with the jumping. Let's keep our feet
Well,
on the ground and run through things.
They bring in Nelson, right?
Yeah.
To try to do it. I mean, homeboy's got hops, but
He
man,
does, yes, but
I
still.
don't know if he got that kind of hops.
Let's stay on the ground. Let's just run the ball. Here's more Hudson Carr dropping back to pass. And we mentioned over and over again, Nebraska's defense made plays.
It's a heck of a play.
We don't get the replay,
That's
but
a really good. That's a good
That's
tight
his
end.
left hand coming through. They're knocking out. That's a fantastic play.
Yeah. Surprised they actually didn't call a penalty on that, though, based off of the way they were calling a lot of things. Here's Rahmir Johnson with a nice reception going there. And then, as we mentioned earlier, just making guys miss.
Yeah,
Great run.
He's really gifted when it comes to his footwork, and he's got tremendous vision.
Penalty gets called. Coach is upset. This is late in the game after he'd already saw about 5 calls that he disagreed with, where he finally got upset enough to throw it on his headset, and he gets the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, the thing I loved is they'll come back as we'll take a look at this screen. And how about the players just giving Coach Rule the butt tap as if to say, you know what, we got your back, right? You're fighting for us. We can't catch a break. We got you.
That's what he said in postgame. Somebody's got to fight for Nebraska. I'm going to fight for Nebraska. Here's your screen. I feel so good to see Nebraska run screen again like when Bill Callahan was here. It just feels so good to see screen. And then you also had the face mask. They went from the 29-yard line to the 29-yard line, and Ja'Cory Barney 24 yards out, touchdown right there with the gadget play, and gets in the touchdown to make it 21-3. And then, as it always should be, as a defensive guy sitting next to me, after we watch the replay on this, and again,
Bullock getting 2 was
good job by him.
that corner got stuck in man-to-man. That safety just took a horrible angle, but hey, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, they got caught up trying to figure out how they wanted to play it. Did they want to roll down to it, or did they want to chase it? They tried both, and neither worked.
It's like the old days. The black shirts putting it away at the end. Bullock with the interception, the pick 6. There was a flag. Luckily, it wasn't against Nebraska.
Yeah, illegal motion, illegal
28-10.
shift on Purdue, thankfully.
Yeah, no doubt about that. If it had been on Nebraska, I think Coach Rule would still be out there right now. Here are your final stats. And as I mentioned, Nebraska dominated the game, 418 yards to 224 yards. If you look at the time of possession, it was very close, but overall, Nebraska pretty much dominated. You know, they left a lot of points on the field with the missed field goals and stuff like that as well. Let's go to our players of the game now, and this makes a lot of sense. We saw what Ja'Cory Barney did on those runs, the 3 receptions, and getting the touchdown as well. As I mentioned, every time he touches the ball, it's almost a first down. Even better in the game against Purdue. And Sierra Wright coming in, relieving Tommy Hill, who couldn't go yesterday or couldn't go on Saturday, tackles and doing a very good job as well. He is playing well while he is trying to get his acting game right as well. Time to dive into the playbook once again this season as we go in the huddle with Jay Moore.
Okay, welcome to the huddle tonight, guys. We're going to do a little Bullock's brother highlights, but the first one is a pick 6 by John Bullock here in the second half. We're going to see John's line up on the hash right here. Nebraska's going to get a nice 4-man rush, and Nebraska's going to sit in cover 2. All right, so I'm going to kind of show you how I can identify this. Is middle linebackers kind of playing that deep middle third. So that's that Tampa 2 kind of. You've seen Urlacher, a lot of guys in the NFL play for many, many years. But what John does is a really good job. They get a nice 4-man rush, put a little pressure on him, but he sits here on the hash. He has vision on the quarterback. Really, has this running back in his sights, but he knows this tight end wants to settle right here in the middle, so he's baiting him into it, right? So he's going to sit here, patient, boom, starts sliding into. He sees Carr start to pull it back as I think Ty Robinson's getting a great rush, puts his foot in the ground, makes a great catch, knows how to score the football. A former DB goes and gets the second pick 6 for the Blackshirt defense this year. All right, second play is the Barney reverse touchdown here. His brother up top does a really good job getting 2 for 1. So how this kind of goes down, Purdue's in a man-to-man situation, right? So this guy has locked in on Alex Bullock. So as this handoff is timed up perfectly with the snap, you can see Nebraska's already in a great situation. They left the end unblocked. He's not going to make the play. The corner on Bullock is sitting tight, man-to-man situation. The safety is going to take a bad angle, and he's going to take 2 of them out. Does a nice job, boom, right there. Barney's able to get the edge with that speed, gives the peace signs, and that's 6 for Big Red.
Pretty lucky there wasn't a personal foul called on the
peace
sign.
on the deuces.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill's gotten it before. You got to be careful with that.
Hey, what's that? I mean, that's a little. If they would have thrown that, that's a little stuffy to me. Let these kids have some fun, man.
I know exactly. Yeah.
But I could in this game.
Yeah.
Would not have been shocked if they would have thrown it with that crew. I tell you what, that was a struggle.
No doubt about that. We'll see if coming up, we're going to do some of the plays of the game, and we'll see if the headset toss made the top plays. But first, Hurrdat Sports has some great shots of Coach Rule letting the officiating crew know his feelings. We're back in 2. All right, time for the top plays now. Number 3, true freshman, Ja'Cory Barney, going 31 yards, jet sweep into the end zone. We mentioned the 2 fingers. Good job. Peace to everybody who was chasing him. He averaged over 15 yards a play whenever he touched the ball against the Boilermakers. Play number 2. This one was not, let's watch the replay again, because it's a good replay. Bullock getting the block there. Play number 2 is not on the field. You're watching this happen. The penalty comes in. When the penalty comes in, Coach Rhule gets a little upset, and he throws his headset. Now, he said he thought since he was in the white, it was okay, but apparently this referee didn't believe so. He gave him a 15-yard penalty, but that's okay because Emmett Johnson comes back and gets the first down on the screen. And our top play goes to the defense. John Bullock, 35-yard pick 6 to close out the scoring, 28-3. Jay broke this one down in the huddle. Great play by John. And now we're joined by 3-time national champion and former NFL linebacker Jay Foreman here on Big Red Wrap-Up. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. What's up?
You think Bullock has a shot to get a cup of coffee, play in the league? I mean, he's really grew himself into a middle linebacker.
Yeah, he's been their best player. I mean, let's not use the walk-on thing against him. I mean, I think he runs well, or at least he, before he kind of, put on weight to get to play linebacker, and he plays with really good feet. If he continues to play well, I don't know why he wouldn't.
Yeah, for me, I think, excuse me, his athleticism is underappreciated. He's used to playing on the 3rd level, so it doesn't bother him to play in space. He seems like a natural, especially in that odd front. I mean, you'll have 5 in the box, and he just looks comfy.
Yeah, and he's a tough kid too, man. He plays a good balance, and he plays heavy-handed, and so I've been really, really impressed with him just from a technique standpoint. So you got to give Dvorak some credit. But then also, I think he's put in a lot of extra time as well. I
told Jay, just being around him and playing against him in high school, his dad trained me. He's a mean-spirited kid, too. Like, he's not not one of those nice guys.
He also does a ton of shrugs.
He's a mean-spirited kid.
He's a shrug kid. A lot of shrugs.
Listen, you can play defense, you got to have bad intentions, man. You can't be a nice guy.
You guys still have him.
Yeah, you got to have some bad. Jay, listen, obviously, defense struggled against Illinois. They got some things figured out. Right. What are you kind of waiting to see from this defense that you haven't seen through the first 5 games?
Well, I mean, Illinois, I think they just were punching themselves in the face. And I think this defense really starts and stops with whoever sets the edge and condenses the edge. Yeah. And if you do that, then everything is fine. I just want to see maybe them start faster, a little bit more dominant from the get-go in 4 quarters. Illinois, I think was an outlier to me because I think Nebraska played obviously their worst game and Illinois played their best game. I think Illinois is good. I don't think they're as good as they played against Nebraska.
You mentioned setting the edge, and another guy that Dvorak helped develop is MJ Sherman, who last year, maybe he was not in great shape, but didn't really see the field much. Couple sacks on Saturday.
Yeah, it's good to see him because he has the body for it, man. You talking about going, once he takes his shirt off at the combine, he's going to go up about two rounds. But the thing is that it's good. I think it took a little while for him to adjust. I always say, look, what you did in Georgia isn't exactly what could happen here. I think he had to adjust, and then he started to come on late in the season, and now he's been more consistent.
When you're taking a look at the narrative was, they need to get better at tackling, And I try to explain to people, when you're comfortable with fits and leverage and where you're doing your 1 of 11, it's a lot easier to be a more confident tackler.
Well, I mean, look, at the second level, I want tight spaces. And, there was a couple times. We saw a little bit against Northern Iowa, and I felt like Northern Iowa caught them in the best defense that they could run their plays. And then, I think when you lose the edge and don't set the edge and condense the edge with offense that had tight splits, and then they hit you with wide plays, then you're kind of out there like, okay, are we being physical or not? And actually, it wasn't a physicality thing or an effort thing. It could be one guy breaking down, and then next thing you know, it's a little bit farther for Jay or Damon to run to make the tackle, and that big bag got rolling. Once those pads get square, he's tough to stop.
Look, I'm going to put you in a defensive coordinator situation, and this how you would try to identify who to stop on this Nebraska offense. I mean, we've got weapons now. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen multiple guys at running back, but now he has Raiola in his talent, but he has some guys to throw to. Who are you trying to eliminate if you're a DC playing this offense?
I think the thing that's been really, really a pleasant surprise is all 4 running backs have carried their own weight at certain times. I think Emmett's done it like 2 or 3 times. But I think if I was going to play against this offense, then I'm going to try to get Dylan, off of his spot and make him maybe one side of the field, and that's the best thing you do. But I think their combination of pass plays and him being able to have the right trajectory and loft and velocity on the ball has really helped him really eliminate the zone coverage, which Illinois was trying to do, and then also be able to throw guys open against man-to-man coverage.
If you're Coach Sat, how much self-control do you have to have if you want to be a physical run team and win games in the fourth, knowing that when you're doing that, sometimes you're taking the ball and the decision-making out of your best decision-maker in Raiola?
Well, I think, you saw a little bit with the sweep plays, even though Barney's about, 175, 180?
Maybe.
But he's wiry strong,
Yeah,
though.
he is.
Trust me, he's like Lamar Jackson. You can't get a good shot on him.
Yep.
You can become physical two ways. One is obviously lining up like you're the Cowboys with Emmitt Smith and just bowl you over. Or if you get really, really good perimeter blocking and being physical. If you go back to when Matt Rule was at Baylor, that's what they did physicality-wise, because they were really, really good out there on the edges. So, for Marcus Satterfield, it's kind of, as long as they just stay out of their own way, then you can call everything in your playbook. Once you start kind of, stubbing your toe, it'd be a little bit harder.
You mentioned Baylor. Go back to Temple. He's always had a quarterback, though, that could move, that could run a little bit. It is a little unique, him having more of a pocket pass.
That's true.
Well, I think pocket presence is what Dylan is. If my favorite quarterback, we always argue about this. Dan Marino's my dude. And
Quick release.
and he had pocket presence. And trust me, I've seen it up close and personal. I think Dylan gets you with pocket presence, and then you have to be really, really strategic when you run. Those are the worst quarterbacks for a defense to play against. The ones that can punch you in the gut, 3rd and 6, get 7. 3rd and 8, get 10. That is more of a decision maker from a defensive standpoint versus like a Lamar. I know he's running. When I get off the bus, I got to have my hamstrings loose and ready to go.
How hard do you think it is for roster management if you really want to upgrade isn't the word, but if you want to utilize your depth on special teams,
right?
Because that's where you get into it's tricky, right? Do you want to utilize your depth in the 4 games? How tough do you think roster management is?
On the road games is really, really hard. And those are probably the longest maybe meetings they have, unless there's like a whole bunch of plethora of injuries or a sickness. It's hard because of the 4 games. As much as it's an advantage, it could be a disadvantage when you go on the road and you're trying to get back on the winning track. So, everybody, look, I'm telling you what, if you put a bunch of freshmen out there, the next thing you know, they're going to say you need to have your starters out there on defense, which we played.
Yeah.
Me and him played punt return, and I played special teams all 9 years in the league. So I think it has to be a mix. But then I think what Coach Rule and those guys do, they continue to push the young guys. So the young guys will be creeping up on that like 2nd or 3rd on the depth chart. Yeah. So when it comes time to get on that plane and you got a young guy just kind of nipping at the heels and you get in there and start playing, next thing you know, your career started, before you know it.
Do you have a theory why? So if you look at it, about half the teams are kicking field goals less than 75%, which isn't great nowadays. There was only 2 returns for touchdowns in all of college football this past week. Special teams don't seem to be as good or exciting as they've been. You have a theory for that at all?
Nobody wants to really play him. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I think, if you wanted to get on the field as a freshman, you had to earn your spot. I mean, I started as a freshman. I was out on all 4 special teams. You got to be out there.
Right there
it's not the sexy thing to do, and you don't get 7 on 7.
Right.
And you don't get a lot of returns now. I think the guys that punt the ball are a lot better than when we were around.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it eliminates that. Also with the kickoffs, if you don't have wind in your face, most kickers are getting it at or closer through the end zone.
Look, going in this part of the schedule, I was always concerned about Rutgers. Chiano teams, they always make me nervous. Now you've seen them through 4 games. How do you feel about this matchup with Rutgers on Saturday?
I feel I know Jedd Fisch, so I feel good about what we could do. I think the hard part for this team is winning and leadership. It's a price you pay, man, and it's not fun. It's not. I mean, and so this game right here embodies that. You're going to have to stay in the fight longer. What Rutgers makes you do is just do the same thing over and over. Now, they'll run a little inside, outside zone, split zone. Then they'll pin down with the tight end, pull the tackle, and gap you on the D gap, right? That's just one gap over. But if you think, okay, they ran this 3 times, let me shoot it here. Next thing you know, they have, in my opinion, I think they got the best running back in the Big Ten.
Guy,
but you got to punish him, though.
Yeah.
You got to hit this dude, and you got to hit him. Like, you can't just sit there and wait. Everybody has to get a shot on him. And if they do it, I know.
Iowa back?
I know.
I like Caleb. I like KJ, but Judkins and Henderson are going for over 8.
They're both good.
8 a touch.
But I think they don't get do their thing. So that's why I'm going with him. I think because he's working with less.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the talent outside.
He doesn't have the
too.
talent outside.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't
the Big
die. I
Ten
wouldn't die
has-
on that hill.
I think the Big Ten has a bunch of good backs. Though.
Yeah, they do.
You look at the schedule after here, Indiana's sitting out there just dominating folks. Ohio State, obviously, USC, UCLA. How do you feel about going forward in terms of what's left?
I think like I said, I think this season is a maturity season. As long as they can show up and do what they need to do and continue to get better, this season will be as hard as they make it or as easy as they make it. Now, listen, I will say this. As easy as I'm making it sound, it's hard to do.
Right.
Right? Showing up every day, winning, putting a winning experience on the field, putting in hours after, and then knowing that coming Saturday, that's where the confidence comes from. So when you look at the schedule, okay, Ohio State's probably the biggest mountain you're going to have to climb.
Sure.
Maybe like USC. I'm still waiting to see. Okay, there's 2 games right there, but when you get off the bus every other game, you feel like as long as we handle our business, we can win this game.
We both thought that USC's defense had kind of turned the corner. They've been able to stop the run lately. I think they're like 96 in the country trying to start the run. So you like that idea for Nebraska going to a team like that, right?
Yeah, and look, the LSU game, I don't know what LSU's got going on.
No
down
one
there.
does.
Yeah, right.
No one has any idea.
But everybody, you can get up for that first game.
Yeah.
That's when you should play your best, when you have to make big adjustments, and they've done it at USC. Let's see where they're at when we go out there, and if we continue along and we need to get started faster of getting better by bigger steps, I like our chances.
Last thing, we don't talk about it at all because it's not bad, but turnovers, turning it around, being +5 now compared to being -12 or whatever last year at this time.
Yeah.
You time to talk about how they ended up doing that?
Well, I think a big part is Dylan. He understands the importance of the football. And then that permeates over the defense. It gives you more chances to do it. I think they probably have made a conscious effort of trying to get more turnovers and not turn the ball over. We saw in the first game with Dante. Was it Dante, I think, in the first game?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're getting a tangible, result after, instilling some discipline. The good thing I'll say is they didn't put him on the milk carton, and like some other coaches have done it, where you make one mistake. Hey, look, man, I'm keeping it real. I'm only here for like a couple minutes. Some guys, you make mistakes. You're like, where is he at? You're like, where's Waldo? I mean,
Right.
I gotta make sure I get an invite back, man. It's been like 2 years.
Quick question from
There he is. Hey, quickly, how do you assess, the perceived lack of dominance along this D-line, even though I think they're occupying? It's an odd front, right?
Yeah.
You have to play it a little different. How are you breaking that down?
I'll tell you this: it's different being the hunter than being hunted.
Yeah.
It is. Because
Starting to see those doubles, huh?
Well, no, they've game planned for you. You gave people fits all last year, so they're thinking about you. You're on every magazine. And I take it as a credit to you. Now we need everybody else to start getting it going. And we've had a little knick-knack injuries there, but I think they'll be just fine. Look, this is the perfect game to show out. Rutgers is supposed to be big, tough. No offense to Jason, Jersey guys and stuff. Let's see where we're at.
You got to stop the RPO. It's the key. Stop the RPO. They run a lot of RPO. Jay, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
We'll bring you back.
I appreciate it, man.
Years.
You know what I mean?
No problem.
Look.
We appreciate Jay for being with us on the wrap-up tonight. Sean Callahan will update us on some important visits. But first, Herd at Sports has some great shots of some of the young guys that are here already. And we'll preview Rutgers with 24/7 writer Bobby Darin. Back after this. I know, that's what I said. He's been dead.
There's lots of coaches that are regarded as like the best coaches in college football. Not many could do what he's done. Okay. Speaking as a guy who won at Temple, and I mean, you go win at Rutgers. Before he got there, not many people had won there, and he won there at a high level, left and came back, and he's winning there again now at a high level. He's a great football coach. Point blank. He's just a great football coach.
Yeah, they're impressive. I mean, the way the backs play, really enjoy watching how blue collar their offensive line is. You could see the ruggedness in them, how much attitude they play with. So it'll be a great challenge.
He's a back who's going to bring it to you. So I mean, he uses dominant contact. So if we use it, it's going to be a lot of clacking going on.
Probably the best one we've seen to date. Contact balance, vision. I mean, the guy, he just does not stop his feet. And the really neat thing about him is you see him and he gets his yak yards are ridiculous. I mean, he's getting hit at 2 and 3 yards, and then when they spot the ball, he's gained 6 and 7.
It's like the Matrix, it's like nothing ever kind of hits him. Like he's running, and like he's just got such elite body balance and contact balance, but also like he sees it coming, and so no one ever gets like a true shot on him, right? It's always like a glancing blow. I think he's really a great player.
Sierra, especially with the injuries and the guys being old back there, it's fun to watch him, take form and start to be the best version of himself. He's competitive. He knows what to do.
Yeah, I've taken a break, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in Nebraska, so I ain't going to be filming nothing out here for real. It's slim pickings for sure.
Welcome back inside the new Big Red Wrap-Up Studio. I'm Michael Severe, of course, joined by Sean Callahan, breaking down the recruiting. What's up, Sean?
What's up, Michael? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Let's talk about some of the big visitors or big guys they're looking at.
Yeah, after a road game and a Friday game, it's kind of been a bit of a quieter visitor stretch, but we'll see Nebraska come back with a nice list of visitors. A couple names I wanted to highlight coming in for the weekend for Nebraska. Davion Bonwell White will be here this weekend, as well as Keenan Harris out of St. Louis. So one of the top players from South Dakota. Bonwell White, as you see here, came to camp for Nebraska this summer. They offered him. He's got Oklahoma, Iowa, Minnesota. He's got all of the offers you want to see. And then Keenan Harris out of St. Louis, one of the top 5 players in the state of Missouri for the class of 2026. Listed as a safety by On3. I think Nebraska, though, is looking at him more as a linebacker. So,
real quick, why isn't Bonwell White rated yet?
They have the 26 prospects. They have not rated a lot of them yet. They're still in that process of rating, but he's probably a mid to high 3-star level player, if not a 4. I mean, he's a very, very good prospect that everywhere he went this summer, he pretty much got it off.
Right, let's go over our featured recruit, Cade Pedshock. A lot of constants there.
Yeah, Cade Pedshock out of West Fargo, North Dakota. One of the highest ranked recruits in Nebraska's 2025 recruiting class. It looked at one point that he was a lock to Oklahoma. And for Nebraska, Matt Rule, they really had a fight to get him. But when you watch his tape, he is a physical, hard-hitting player, line of scrimmage guy. He hits as hard as any guy you watch in Nebraska's class on tape. And I know when he committed, they were excited about him as any guy they've landed in this recruiting class because line of scrimmage players, as you know, are what it's going to take to win in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, I'd like to see Nebraska dominate in South Dakota and North Dakota. That'd be really good for them. Let's do our in-state recruit.
Yeah, moving into our in-state recruit, Casey Popage out of Papillion La Vista South. He's a Northern Illinois tight end commit. And Nebraska, the state of Nebraska, just tends to put out tight ends.
Yes, they do.
I mean, there's 4, 5, 6 a year that go from Power 5 all the way down to schools like Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois is a quality program. They just beat Notre Dame. But Casey, was targeted early, committed very quickly to Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois started recruiting the Metro when Dan Jackson was there. He left. We're still seeing, though, the Huskies come in here and have a presence recruiting the state of Nebraska, and they get Casey Popich here out of Papillion La Vista South.
And he's a senior?
He's a senior, yes.
How did he not transfer to the West Side? I'm just joking. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate it. Let's get to...
You just got a look from Damon. You just got a look. Snake guy Damon right there.
Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it. Let's get some of the early survey results. How do you think Coach Rules should handle 4th down in field goal range? Right now, Hope Albano is back at 15%. Hope Hole gets better at 16%. Go for it on 4th down, 46%. And then see if Dylan Raiola can kick, 23%. Now we're going to go around the Big Ten. The SEC and Big Ten are meeting next week to discuss a possible non-conference scheduling agreement. The biggest sticking point, of course, is playing the same amount of conference games to balance and unify the Power 2 scheduling. Also, Indiana moved to 5-0, their first 5-0 start since 1967. John Pott was their coach at the time. He was later replaced, of course, by Lee Corso for the Hoosiers. And Rutgers is off to a hot start, 4-0 for the first time since 2012. That team was coached by Kyle Flood, who replaced Greg Schiano after his first stint in Piscataway. And talking about Greg Schiano and the Scarlet Knights, we welcome in Bobby Darin of 24/7 Sports. Bobby, how good are the Scarlet Knights?
You know, they just kept building, and it's finally starting to come together. I think we'll see over the next few weeks how good this team is. They do the little things that can win ball games. You know, they give up 521 yards to Washington, but made plays when they needed to. Were more disciplined, didn't commit the self-inflicted errors that Washington did, and that's what kind of Greg Schiano wanted to build with that culture. And the ball's finally bouncing their way, so they're going to have a tough stretch coming up here, though.
Bobby, Nebraska's been very familiar with Cal McManus being at Minnesota. Obviously in Rutgers now. How has he performed as quarterback with that high-powered running game that Rutgers has had so far this year?
You know, he's been more of a game manager type, and I was talking to him today after practice, and you know, he said, you know, he's just trying to do what's asked of him, and with that running game, it's not a ton asked, but the Rutgers passing game has been so inept for so long that just the semblance of a passing game, it changes the whole dynamic of the offense because. You were looking at a team that was running the ball on 3rd and long last year, late in the season against opponents like Iowa. They're in games with them,
Bobby.
And yeah,
how do you kind of sense who Rutgers has played in terms of schedule versus what we see from their development, and kind of keep it in check? This is a good program trending in the right direction. How do you not worry about the schedule?
You know, the schedule, I mean, if you look at the schedule really is a lot easier because last year, or for the last 10 years, they've played Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan, and they've gone 1-29 in those games. So this is a bit of a reprieve this year, you know, not having to play any of those big three. And when you looked at the schedule previously, you would look at those teams and say, you know, look, there's 3 losses automatically. You know, you have to win 6 out of 8 or 6 out of 9 to be bowl eligible. So they're really welcoming in the schedule this year.
Bobby, when you look at just Greg Schiano and what he's done this time around at Rutgers, I mean, what are the biggest changes you've seen out of him, the way he's built this version of Rutgers?
It's very similar to the way he built the first time around, you know. And this time, though, he came in, you know, from his stint at Ohio State and learning from Urban Meyer. He learned recruit, and you know, he puts a lot of time and energy into that. But it's built basically the same way, you know, getting the most out of guys, developing guys. He's not going to get the 4 and 5 stars. He's going to have to find some of those under the radar guys and really do it with defense in the run game, and that's been his formula for success pretty much all the way through. I mean, he had a couple years back when Ray Rice was, you know, electric in the offense, but for the most part, it's been defense first, run the ball control, play smart, disciplined, tough football.
Bobby, last thing, I'm guessing that Rutgers is probably licking their chops, seeing a couple blocked field goals, a blocked punt early in the season. The way special teams is played at Rutgers and under Greg Schiano, they must be pretty excited about this matchup.
Yeah, and Greg loves special teams. He coaches a big part of special teams. When you see him at practice, he spends a lot of time kind of overseeing it. There is no special teams coordinator like some schools have, you know, an assistant coach of that, and he spends a great deal of time. He's always prided himself on that, and I could see them really selling out this week and trying to get some of those blocks, and it's something he spends a lot of time on.
Kyle, this is a big picture question, but with your guys' move to the Big Ten and now the expansion out west, What has been the reaction just with Rutgers having to make so many more coast-to-coast trips? And, does football do different things when they make these long-distance trips? Are they going out a day earlier? How does Rutgers handle some of the things the Big Ten's going to bring for Rutgers here moving forward?
Well, Schiano is very prepared. He's diligent. He has contingency plans upon contingency plans. They'll change the practice schedule. They'll change, the times that they do everything. I mean, this guy has it detailed down to the temperature in the room during meetings. He could tell you if it's 1 degree higher. So they're adequately prepared for this. And they're excited about it. I mean, think about it. Before they came to the Big Ten, this was a team that played in the Big East, and then they had to go to the American Conference for a year, and it was, trips to South Florida every year, trips to UConn. So they're really welcoming this, and he's very diligent in his preparation, and he adjusted accordingly.
It's obviously only Tuesday, but have you made a pick yet in the game?
I haven't, but it's the thing that's going to be tough is, Rutgers has run the ball well, but if you look, a lot of the yards come after contact. Kyle Monangai and even Sam Brown, you'll see some of him. He's, 225-pound bigger back who can move the pile. Had that 37-yard touchdown that was a difference maker against Washington last week. That is going to be a battle to watch because the Rutgers offensive line hasn't performed as well as some of the numbers might suggest. You see a lot of the running back, combination of Sam Brown, Kyle Monangai, obviously doing a lot of it on their own after contact. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them. And, playing on the road, I'm starting to lean towards Nebraska, but, Rutgers has some kind of mojo going where things are just bouncing their way this year.
Bobby, we really appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
All right, we appreciate Bobby coming on and talking about it. Time for our game day picture winner. Check out the best game day photo sent to us this weekend. This week's winner on the game day pick post. Big Red Wrap-Up Facebook account from Susan and Tom. Early game calls for Kegs and Eggs. Love the shirt, Triple B printing right there. Kegs and Eggs and football. Let's go. Keep sending in your game day pictures to win a free t-shirt. And our social media this week, dreaming of field goals. Look at my guy Wolverine, Logan right there, dreaming about making some field goals. And then Justin Adams, 402 Nation, not excited about the Big Ten officiating with flags all over the field. That's pretty accurate right there. And lastly, Adam Kramer, the original Kegs and Eggs, not very interested in watching the second half. He obviously missed the better half. All right, before we get to viewer questions, how surprised are you that Rutgers is 17th in the Big Ten in run defense? You'd expect them, I thought at least coming in, they'd be better than that.
Yeah, I just think that what happens is the way that they want to play. Coaches now with dry erase boards and markers that can game plan.
Sure.
They're a little leaky on the back end. And so I think Rutgers tries to overcompensate a little bit, and teams with dry erase boards like, hey, we can run the football. And that's kind of what's happened to them. But up front, I'm just not sure how athletic they are on the back seven.
Yeah.
D-line, really stout. They got to make plays in space, and I think Nebraska will put them to the test.
Sean, have you heard anything about, because we always talk about whenever there's a bad call, you have the coaches sending it in. Did you hear anything about what they heard back on some of those calls?
I haven't, and generally, even if you get the response you want to hear, I mean, what does it do at that point? Right? I mean, I feel terrible for Virginia Tech. I mean, they had that, you talk about they had the game won, and then the call gets overturned after the call on the field's a touchdown. I mean, I can't imagine, but Nebraska had something similar this year with Naor, where they called it a touchdown, and he had what appeared possession for enough time, and they took it away and they called it a fumble or a change of possession. So it is what it is. But there were 8 first downs, guys, that Nebraska received in that game by a penalty. That was a record for Nebraska in a game.
Do you think it matters who the coach is? Because obviously, Bielema and Franklin were losing their mind. PJ Fleck, unhappy. Bama in Georgia with DeBoer, and they're not happy. Do you think it matters who's barking the loudest?
Yes. I think to an extent.
I mean, it was not a good weekend.
No. I mean, Michael and I were talking about the show. I mean, the offsides ruling on Minnesota's onside kick. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. I mean, that was brutal. He was clearly onside. He timed it perfectly, and that's not a reviewable call.
And I get it. Iowa fans are like, hey, fair catch, no fair catch with Minnesota. But I get it, right?
Who do they need to win that game? I mean, that's what you start looking at, right? The Big Ten, that's why they made that call. It's changed it a little bit, right?
Sure.
They need Michigan to win that game.
Michael Pelini?
Michael Pelini, yes.
The Big Ten wants 4 playoff spots.
Exactly.
I mean, they don't want just 3. They want to get 4 in there.
Yeah, Michigan needs that win, and that makes people get the conspiracy theory part of it, but if you watch it on tape, it was a bad call.
But it's hard. I mean, I get it. I've never officiated a football game except in Little League where you just call, offsides and a false start for the majority, right? The egregious stuff. But it's hard because you want to be, these guys get graded. They want to get good grades. They want to be recognized. They want to get opportunities for bowl games and for playoff spots. And sometimes you can try to just do too much and get a little too ticky-tack. It just seems the consistency of it all is just it's not there right now.
There was evidently one ref making a majority of those flags in that game. I did hear that. Like one of the guys along the sidelines was the referee that threw a good majority of the ones that caused some of the problems.
Right. This question is for you from Brian on Twitter. He says Brian Buschini's tackle on a ball carrier in the second half was textbook, perfect form. Can you get him in? I think you try to put him in there to play.
Hey, that was nice. I mean,
It was nice.
The whole Nebraska sideline was
went
nuts as well. No, that was textbook by the punter. I mean, tell you what, it's not a good
talked
thing.
about all that good weight he put on this year.
Yeah, he did.
Listen, was that on the punt? Or that was on a kickoff.
Kickoff.
Yes, that was great. But he had 2 touchdown saving tackles on the blocked field goals as well. So
they call him Boom Sheeny. He lowered Boom.
He
lowered the boom.
You
This is for you, Damon, because you kind of mentioned this. Why does it seem like Gifford isn't as involved this season?
Yeah, so I've heard this back and forth thing about Giff, and he's this, he's that. And number one, I don't think he feels great, but I still think he's playing at a pretty high level. He's been asked to do some things by Coach Butler that are a little different for him. He's been kind of more the deep hole guy. When they get in the shell, he's the center fielder. He's playing more of the traditional free. It looks like defensively, then sometimes he is the rover who's down into the box. But believe me, when they go to like 3 strong and he has to get down into the box, Giff will do Gifford things.
Yeah. This one's for you, Sean. This is Joe's a little negative. After last week's game at Purdue, do you see 2 more wins possibly in the remaining schedule?
What?
I mean,
What?
He says penalty after penalty after penalty. So many mistakes. GBR Joe.
look, they won by 18. They've lost one game in overtime by 7 points to what appears to be a pretty good Illinois team.
Yeah.
The computer rankings, if you want to go off that, have Nebraska winning this game.
Yes.
They have Nebraska winning the game against
UCLA.
Wisconsin and UCLA.
Yeah.
So
7.2
that gets them to
wins.
7. And obviously the Indiana game and the Iowa game are kind of swingish.
Right.
Because they're on the road. And they're going to be dogs at USC and Ohio State. I think we all agree on that. But there's 3 that they should win. There's 2 that are kind of flips. And there's 2 that they're going to be really big dogs.
Yeah. Last question. They're asking about Nash and Ty leaving. What do you think about the young guys? You feel okay behind them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously Van Poppel with him redshirting. There's plenty of depth. Judy has 1 more year, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Or is he a senior as well? I can't remember. I'm blanking.
It's hard to figure that out.
The interesting thing about this defense is, as old as they are, they have a chance to be more athletic next year.
I completely agree with that. Let's go to our burning question. Sean, you're up.
All right, my burning question is special teams. Can Nebraska do the little things that matter on special teams? Because in a game like this, one mistake like that might be the difference.
For me, it's how good is your short-term memory. I hope it's poor. For Nebraska, wash, rinse, get rid of it. It's Rutgers, big game. This is what you want. Forget about what's happened in the past.
Yeah, for me, it's a great setup for the defense. It's Nebraska's run D versus Rutgers run O. A lot of similar stuff that Rutgers runs offensively, Nebraska does as well. So there's some familiarity with that. How do they match up? Almost 240 yards Rutgers has rushed for through the first 4 games. So that matchup right there is going to be key.
My burning question, it kind of talks about what we asked about before in terms of special teams. Can Nebraska make a big play on special teams? Not a field goal, but return a kick, turn the game, steal a possession, because I know that's something that Coach Rule talks a lot about. Before we get to end this up, predictions, what do you have, Sean, for the score?
I have Nebraska winning 24-13.
24-13 and Damon?
I went 26-17. That big play, it's going to be a safety.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah, my prediction was 21-17. I want to go 24, but I said it's
field goal.
Field goal.
You have to let him kick. As soon as you can kick a field goal, kick it in that game.
Get some confidence. I got 24-17. Don't forget to head to the website and Facebook page. Click on a prediction. Jay and Damon will tell you exactly what to expect for the Saturday game against Rutgers. The game's 3 p.m. on FS1. We'll see you next week here on Big Red Wrap-Up. Oh, we also want to tell you